This is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Ava Majury? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case. I'll move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. Ava Majury is a well-known influencer on the social media platform TikTok. At the time making this video, she is 15 years old. TikTok has a large quantity of very young users. Of its 49 million daily users in the United States, over a third are 14 or younger. In 2019, Ava Majury moved with her family from New Jersey to Naples, Florida. Her father, Rob, is a retired police officer, and her mother is named Kimberly. Ava also has one older brother and one younger brother. The family moved into a house that they were renting. At the age of 13, Ava became active on the social media platform TikTok. She became quite successful and accumulated over 1 million followers. Most of her videos involve her dancing, lip-syncing, and pulling pranks with her friends and family. She has a variety of sponsors and evidently makes pretty good money, like between $1,000 and $2,000 per video. Her parents are supportive. They were surprised at how much money she was earning. As Ava became more popular on TikTok, she noticed that an 18-year-old man named Eric Rohan Justin was working diligently to get her attention. Eric lived in Ellicott City, Maryland, with his mother. This is just west of Baltimore. Ava later discovered that friends of hers in New Jersey and Florida were selling Eric various items, like her personal information, including her cell phone number, as well as photographs. Eric used her phone number to call and send text messages to her. In order to get away from him, Ava unfollowed her friends in Florida and in New Jersey. Some of her friends told her that she was going Hollywood on them. In an unusual move, Ava then contacted Eric Justin and suggested that he didn't need to continue contacting her friends. He could obtain what he wanted directly from her for a price. With her parents' approval, Ava sold Eric 2 photographs of her for $300 total. Eric made the purchase using Venmo. Apparently, these images were of her face and already available on another social media platform. But even still, this was a very bad idea. Eric Justin became emboldened after this purchase, requesting images of her feet and other anatomical features. Essentially, he was looking for explicit content. At this point, Ava blocked him from all of her social media accounts. Eric then started sending hundreds of dollars to Ava using Venmo, begging her to unblock him. After sending over $600, he eventually wrote, quote, "Sorry, this is all I have left. I'm broke," unquote. Ava, of course, knew Eric's cell phone number. Her father sent a text message to Eric advising him that Ava was a minor. He demanded that Eric discontinue his efforts to contact her. Rob would later say that Eric seemed apologetic. Eric did not react too well to this. He communicated via text messages to one of Ava's classmates, asking about a gun and talking about how he could breach Ava's door with a shotgun. Ava's classmate showed the text messages to her, but Ava was afraid to show her parents. Instead, Ava and the classmate tried to determine where Justin lived. When they realized that he was hundreds of miles away, they didn't believe he was a threat. At some point, Ava's father must have found out. During an interview, he suggested that he wasn't too worried about Eric traveling all that way from Maryland to Florida. He also noted that Eric was young. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. On July 10, 2021, Eric Justin arrived at the Majury family home at 4:30 a.m. He was carrying a shotgun, wearing protective eyewear, earplugs, and a vest containing several shotgun shells. He was also in the possession of 2 cell phones, which contained hundreds of hours of Ava's videos, as well as thousands of photographs. Using the shotgun, Eric fired 1 time into the front door and blew it open, but his weapon malfunctioned. It may have been that he simply did not know how to use it. If it was a pump-action shotgun, he may not have racked it all the way, or if it was an autoloader, he may not have had the stock up against his shoulder and it didn't cycle properly. I think it's likely that Eric was the problem and not something wrong with the shotgun. After hearing the shotgun blast, Ava's father Rob made his way to the front door. He sprinted toward Eric, but fell and injured his knee. Eric tried to clear the action on the shotgun, but he was not successful. Instead, he ran away. Rob retrieved a pistol and stood near the front door. He was guarding his house and waiting for the police, who had been called by his wife Kimberly. One news report indicated that a resident went outside armed with a gun, presumably referring to Rob. So Rob was either standing near the door or had actually stepped outside the house. Eric returned to the house, still holding the shotgun. Rob ordered him to drop the shotgun, but Eric would not do it. At this point, Rob shot Eric Justin. Eric was transported to a local hospital where he died. The authorities would later determine that Ava Majury was justified in the shooting under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Since the shooting, Ava became aware of a few other potential dangers. She reported to her parents that the classmate who had been communicating with Eric when Eric was talking about getting a gun was watching and following her in school. In addition, another classmate sent her a video of him firing a gun at a shooting range. Ava started attending class remotely. The family no longer lives at the same residence. Ava's parents still support her efforts to remain on social media, although I imagine they are more aware of security concerns. Now moving to my analysis. I will go through several items in this case that stood out to me. Item number 1 is the shooting itself. Ava Majury said that the police told him that he was covered under the Stand Your Ground law. This appears to be a clear-cut case of self-defense, even if Rob did wander into his front yard during the confrontation. And again, that's not clear from the reports. He may have been standing in his house near the doorway when Eric returned. When someone attacks a family with a shotgun, any member of the family is permitted to respond with deadly force. I don't think Rob had any choice. His actions probably saved his daughter's life. The only way to stop Eric was with force. Rob even attempted to persuade Eric to drop the shotgun, which is more generous than Rob needed to be under the circumstances. He was justified to use deadly force after being confronted by an armed intruder who discharged a shotgun into his front door. Fortunately for Rob and his family, Rob owned a firearm and knew how to use it. Item number 2, neither Ava nor Rob understood how dangerous Eric Justin was. Many people have been critical of the decision to sell the 2 photographs to Eric. When this sale took place, Eric had already been violating boundaries. He had contacted Ava's friends to obtain her personal information. This was way beyond trying to make a few dollars. The Majury family should have distanced themselves from Eric altogether. There was really no way to turn his stalking behavior into something good. I can understand why Ava didn't recognize Eric as a stalker. She was only 13 or 14 when all this was happening. But I'm more than a little surprised that her father didn't recognize Eric as a threat, considering he was once a police officer in a fairly dangerous city, Jersey City, New Jersey. Another missed warning sign was the threat to blow their front door open with a shotgun. I don't think this was a home redecorating tip on the part of Eric Justin. He was pretty clear about his intent. He was willing to be violent. He set forth a plan on how he would conduct an attack. Sometimes with stalkers, there are no warning signs available to potential victims. In this case, there were multiple warning signs, and all of them were discarded. Item number 3, this case has led to a debate about whether Ava should stay on social media. In addition, there is a larger debate about whether anyone her age should be active on social media in the way that she is. Some people agree with the family's decision. Ava should have the freedom to build her social media career. Others believe that this type of social media interaction creates too much risk. It attracts dangerous people. Here's how I look at this. Considering Ava's age, it's up to her parents. The burden is on them to make this decision. They, of course, want to look out for her best interests. They want her to be safe, but they also want her to have the freedom to build a career and earn money. I think her parents could have handled Eric Justin's boundary crossing a little better, like they could have responded more actively to warning signs. But ultimately, this crime occurred because Eric Justin decided to travel to Florida with a shotgun and discharged it into the front door of their house. He allowed himself to invest in a dangerous and inappropriate fantasy. Eric knew that what he was doing was wrong. For example, when Rob told him to stop contacting Ava, Eric was apologetic. This shows that Eric was trying to be manipulative. He understood the difference between right and wrong. The criminal behavior of Eric Justin and the fact that there are others like him out there should not prevent Ava an opportunity to continue her success. I think that this case speaks to the difficulty of being a celebrity or quasi-celebrity in general. This line of work comes with risk. Moving to the last item, number 4. What happened here with Eric Justin? As I mentioned, it was his behavior that caused this whole situation and led to his death. What are the characteristics of a celebrity stalker? Is there any way to identify the risk in advance? The typical celebrity stalker is a male who fixates on a female celebrity. Here are some of his characteristics. So this is in general, not specific to Eric Justin. He is fairly intelligent and is unemployed or underemployed. He has a criminal history, particularly one that involves the use of weapons. He is not currently in a romantic relationship and has probably never been in a romantic relationship. The obsession maintained by the male is long in duration. He has unrealistic expectations of the celebrity. He over-identifies with the celebrity. He responds with inappropriate anger after perceiving a betrayal by the celebrity. And the stalking behavior occurs across state lines or even internationally. A celebrity stalker is more likely to have extreme personality traits, especially cluster A personality pathology. So we would expect to see paranoia, bizarre behavior, isolating behavior, and social awkwardness. A celebrity stalker will often feel conflicted by the idea of violence when it first occurs to him. Violence is inconsistent with his beliefs. It is ego-dystonic. He doesn't feel satisfaction or pleasure when contemplating violence. Over time, he builds anger toward the victim when he perceives that he has been rejected or betrayed by the celebrity. He feels increasingly justified to take some type of drastic action. Eventually, his fixation intensifies, and he narrows down his options until only violent actions remain. When considering this profile, the devastating effect of mistakes in this case become clear. No encouragement should ever be provided to a potential stalker, because this signifies a relationship to him. This only makes his feelings of rejection and betrayal stronger. Now moving to my final thoughts. Celebrities and quasi-celebrities should take appropriate measures to protect themselves. One of these precautions would be not making things worse when becoming aware of a potential stalker. The stalker should never be encouraged to make contact with a potential victim. Selling those photographs to Eric was essentially a way to harness the power of a stalker, to use Eric's obsession to make money. This is kind of like walking around on a freezing day in the winter and seeing a gas station on fire and thinking, I could walk over there and get warm. The problem is, when the gasoline explodes, it will get a lot warmer than the person expected. Some situations are simply too volatile to lead to some type of material gain. Those are my thoughts in the case of Ava Majury. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.